This is her. This is the. She wrote it and directed it. This is the woman. Okay. Let's go here real quick. Let's see. So this thing has been out. This concept that she had since 2018. The drama follows the twin sisters Racine and Anaya and their mission. Their mother, known as God, has entrusted them to murder their father, who years earlier set her on fire, burning and badly scarring their daughters in the process. Okay? This was in 2018. She had this brewing. Okay? This was inspired by Rihanna's 2015 song, Better Have My Money. Okay? Okay. Let's get a better take on her.
And I had a thought and a question, which was what would happen if I were to create a story that was inspired by ancient Greek tragedy, but populated by people who look and sound like myself? So that was really the germ of the idea. And then as I started writing the story, these other sources of influence, spaghetti westerns, like a Afro-punk sensibility. I was thinking about misogynoir. Like I just went, and I love a good revenge tale, which is also a big part of like ancient Greek tragedy and spaghetti western. So I just let it be what it.
Okay, hold up. Let me get you up out of here. Hold up. I got him. Don't nobody touching. Nobody touching. Oh, somebody got. Oh no, I got him. Let me get you up out of here, sir. Let me get you up out of here. Okay. Let me get you up out of here. Okay, let me get you up out of here. Cause you come in here talking crazy. I don't know you, son. Like, have some respect. Have some respect. Okay. This is the woman that directed this movie and wrote this movie.
So I think
okay?
the approach in terms of like the visuals and the camera work is inspired by many spaces. But my driving force was really, how should I move? What sort of artistic leader should I be?
Okay.
And how
let me just say it right now. This movie is a flop. This movie is dead on arrival. Okay. No diss to her, none of that. This movie is dead on arrival. Let me show you how dead this movie is going to be. Matter of fact, will they release the budget? Is God is movie budget. Now, at first they weren't giving out the budget. They were hiding the budget. Okay. What they say is this movie cost between $10 to $15 million. Okay? 10 to 15 million. You figure marketing, this thing would need to make between 20 and $30 million just to break even. Okay? Between 20 and $30 million. Yes? Okay. This movie is sitting at roughly $2 million for this weekend. Okay. This movie's a flop. This movie's dead on arrival. Okay. This movie has made $2 million. Like I said last week, this movie will probably will not be released internationally. It will cost too much. It's not worth it. This movie has made $2 million against a $10 to $15 million budget, and it needs to make $20 to $30 million to break even. This thing's a flop. Okay. Now it may do decent on streaming on Amazon when it goes to streaming or VOD, video on demand. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, let me get into my breakdown and my review of what I saw from this movie in this movie. Okay. This is like a new age Color Purple for young black girls. I hate to say it. This is a young girl's Color Purple. Okay. Sterling K. Brown plays the evil dad. Vivica Fox is mom, aka God. Mykelti Williamson plays the lawyer Chuck Brown. And everybody else I've never seen before. All right, so he said that's a nice L. All right, let me get to my notes. Just bear with me. There's a lot to take in. So the two main characters are named Racine and Anaya. Is this my notes? No. Yes. Okay, Racine has burns on her arm and shoulder, and her hands. Her two fingers are melded together on her left arm. Naya's face and shoulders are very badly burned. They are telepathically linked. They can hear each other's thoughts and finish each other's sentences, but they like to talk to each other telepathically. Okay. Naya has a boyfriend. Now Naya, once again, I must make distinctions. Racine is the angry one, she's the oldest, she's the angry one. Naya is the meek and reserved one, but she has the most burns on her face. She has a boyfriend named Elvis, and he makes her have sex from behind because he doesn't like to look at her when they're having sex. So he makes her bend over. Okay. They refer to their mom as God. She sends a letter for them to visit her. I forget where they go, somewhere down south. And let me just say this real quick. The CNAs, aka the hair braiders, that are taking care of God, those are some bad ghetto bitches. wait. The women braiding her hair, they're CNAs, right? They look good. Ratchet and ghetto, and they looked good. I don't know where they found those women, those three sisters, but they look good. Okay, let's continue. It's a story about domestic violence, basically. This is a new age Color Purple for the young black girls. Okay, so she tells the story. They're like, Mama, what happened? So the story goes from God's point of view is the daddy was abusive, and she had a restraining order against him. He breaks into the house. He brings a present for her, and she doesn't say anything. And he chokes her out. She's unconscious. He puts her in the bathtub, and then he brings the girls into the bathroom with her. She's passed out. He dumps gasoline on her. He says, let's play a game called Wake Mommy Up. Strikes the match, drops it into the bathtub, and lights Mama on fire as he walks out. You can hear them screaming in the background. Then you hear the girls screaming in the background while the evil daddy takes a smoke, lights up a cigarette in the doorway. Okay. So Mama basically, makes a plea to the girls to go murder their father before she dies. She's dying. That's her last dying wish. They send her. So the girls kind of go back and forth. Naya, the really burned up one, is like, we can't do this. Like, can we just forgive and forget? Racine is more like her daddy than you realize. She's like, no, we need to go do this because God says so. We acting as a servant of God. We can't let God down. So they go ahead and do it. They're on the road. Then they track down Erica Alexander is another face. She plays Lady Divine. She was once with their daddy many years prior. So they go to her church. They say, hey, we're looking for our dad. And they find out they have a half brother named Ezekiel. She has an altar built to the memory of the dad, because the dad said, I'm gonna be back, just keep the church going. And that was like roughly 17 years prior. She kept her promise to keep the church. So then she steals the pocket book that the mother had in the shrine to the father. So they run off with the pocket book. They go find his original attorney, because their daddy went to trial over this. He beat the case. The daddy beat the case for setting Mama on fire. The attorney, played by Mykelti Williamson, his name is Chuck Hall. When they meet Chuck is getting beat up by dominatrix. He has no tongue, because after they did a flashback, because he's writing on a board because he has no tongue. He's telling them how when their daddy was so happy he beat the case, and they thought about going back to finish the job, which is the girls. And he tells the attorney this, and the attorney's like, maybe we can do this and this and that. So then the daddy kind of snaps and just bashes his head against the steering wheel, and he takes his tongue. So the whole time, the attorney's been waiting for the daughters to come pay him a visit, or the daddy to finish him off. So he's been preparing to die. So then they hit him in the head with a rock. He gives him an address to go see. Let me see, Dad. The boy. Wait. The attorney. Okay, prepared it out. Okay, Dad. Okay, so they find out the dad has a new wife and another set of twin boys. Okay. Naya is the moral compass of the two. She's ice. Racine is fire. Okay. Okay. So then they're being followed, and they're attacked by some guy in a motorcycle helmet, and it turns out it's Ezekiel from the church, their half brother. Because they're like, you think you're going to kill him and take him from me, and whatever. So they lock him in a grain silo, right? Okay. So then the twins, the boy twins, their names are Scotch and Riley. Scotch is the jock, the handsome one, the athletic one, the one that likes to get in trouble. Riley is the calm, reserved one. He's seems to be more book smart. Angie, played by Janelle Monáe, is the new wife. Angie plans on escaping and leaving the kids behind, and escaping away from her husband to where, I forget what they say, where she was trying to go. She siphoned $11,000 she had been hiding from him. So then the girls kind of show up and ruin Angie's plans. So they're in the middle of the road. She's trying to drive off. And they're like, you don't know who we are, and blah, 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 blah. And say, hey, oh, she was like, well, I thought y'all were dead, and whatever the case. And Racine's like back and forth with Angie, and she's like, nah, we here, and you ain't going nowhere. We're going to, finish this, whatever. So Angie's like, I'm trying to leave. Y'all messed up my plans. So then they get into it, and Angie spits on Racine. Racine then begins to beat her in the head, beat her to death with a rock in a sock. So then the girls go back to the house to go meet the twins. The twins, they show up. The boy twins think they're strippers. The boy twins have never been told about their twin half sisters. Okay. Yeah. Angie wanted to go to Yucca Valley. Meets the twins. Angie spits on her. Okay. So now the twins think the dad hired strippers for them for their birthday. But Riley's like, nah, man, our birthday ain't for another 2 weeks. And then Scotch is like, well, Dad's on a fishing trip. Maybe he gave us our present early. So they think they're strippers. The girls play the role like, okay, yeah, we're here to whatever. He's like, yeah, go in the third room. So then Scotch calls a bunch of the homies over. The girls come out in lingerie, start stripping. So then Scotch is like, no, hey, you, the ugly one, I need you to turn around and dance because I can't stand to look at your face. Of course, that makes Racine upset because when they were little in foster care, some little boy called Naya ugly, and then Racine proceeds to beat him in the head with the bat off camera. So Racine has always been like the protector of Naya. When people call her ugly, she takes offense to that. So then Naya runs off. She leaves. Racine starts dancing. She tells the older brother Scott to go back. Let's go to the back room to finish this dance. Naya and then Riley are talking in the kitchen. They kind of have a connection because they're kind of both like the odd twin out, right? So then Racine kills the older brother Scotch. She crushes his throat with the rock. He comes out the room, coughing blood. The homies he drops dead. The homies leave because he called the homies over for a show, right? The homies leave. And then Riley sees what happened. And so then Racine and Naya get into it because she wants to go ahead and kill Riley too. And Naya's like, you can't kill him. Like, he didn't do nothing. Like, you're doing too much. We're going too far. Blah, 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 blah. They get into a fight. Naya takes Riley and they run off to hide somewhere outside the house. Then all of a sudden, Riley tries to strangle Naya. He's like, yo, you just killed my brother. I don't care what he did. So he's trying to strangle her. And then here comes Racine to save the day. She stabs him in the back with a bunch of garden shears, and they throw his body in the pool. Okay. So then, wait. Okay, kills Riley. Okay. So then by this time, Riley is unconscious. Not Riley, but Racine is unconscious. The dad comes home. Naya drags Racine's body into the house to hide her underneath the table. The dad sees the boys' dead bodies. This man fixes a sandwich and some chips, sits at the dinner table, and he says, hey, come on from under that table so we can have a conversation. So then Naya comes out, and they're talking back and forth. They're asking and answering questions back and forth. Naya's like, why'd you do what you did? And then, this is the one part in the movie, like, I'm like, let's hear the dad side of the story. So the bad guy, Sterling K. Brown, tells his side of the story, like, your mama wouldn't let me stand up in my own house, wouldn't let me be a man. I was like, okay, well. And he said, what I did was a perfectly acceptable response to a man with no control, with lack of impulse control. I'm like, oh, okay, that's different. And he said, well, I didn't try to set y'all on fire. I just set your mama on fire. He said, well, what happened was your mama grabbed you. She grabbed y'all and pulled her into the fire with her. So, of course, Naya's like, that's not true. He's like, yeah, I would never hurt my babies. Y'all's my babies. I just wanted to kill your mother. So you think they reconcile because, she grabs his hand. They go sit down on the couch. You think, so you think this is a moment of reconciliation where she's going to forgive him and you're like, okay, where Racine's still passed out. So then all of a sudden, the bad guy, and he backhands Naya, punches her in the face. And he's like, listen, you're pus. There's something I had to remove, and tell your mother if I could do it again, I would. So he really is a bad guy. He's a psychopath. He's really unhinged. So Naya and the daddy square up. He's like, oh, you really want to do this? Because he told her to just leave. He said, hey, just leave, go home, and we'll just not think about the blood that's been spilled. She's like, I'm pregnant. You got a grandson coming. He's like, oh, okay, we'll go home, and then when you come back, bring that baby, back so I can bounce him on my knee, whatever the case may be. He gave her a pass to leave, whatever. So they square up, they go at it, and then all of a sudden here comes Racine to jump in to help with the fight. The most unrealistic fight ever. A goddamn grown ass man. Sterling K. Brown is 6'1", 6'2". I mean, really, if this were a real fight, it'd be over in 2 minutes. But it's the movies. Of course, they find a way to beat the daddy. They beat the daddy in the mouth with the sock, and they overcome and beat the daddy. And the daddy runs off, and he runs off into the bathroom, and then they push him into the tub. They beat him some more, push him into the tub, put alcohol on him, and then set him on fire. So they're watching him burn because that's what the mama wanted, right? And so as you think he's dead, they're about to walk away. Then the daddy comes out of the tub on fire and pulls in Racine. And part of me was like, good. Part of me was like, good. At least you got one of these little bitches. I don't know. Part of me was happy the daddy got one of them. Okay, call me a sadist, but part of me was happy. And so Naya runs out of the house by herself. The house is completely burned down, and she's walking off. Mind you, there's no fire trucks, no cops, no ambulances. I'm like, where's the emergency services? And she's like, well, the wife is like, well, they live off way far. I'm like, whatever, plot hole. So she catches a bus back to wherever, and then there's a down shot of her with the baby, I guess, down the road in the future. She's wearing all white with this baby, and she's like, yeah, story of redemption and all this and blah blah blah, and I'm gonna tell my baby all about her auntie Racine. And then the movie ends. There's your movie. Is God is. So the woman is God, because in this movie they say she created life. She's like, well, she did create us. Never mind, the daddy had nothing to do with it. Okay, got you. Parthenogenesis. Okay, cool. This is just a new age, a young girl's version of The Color Purple. This movie will come and go with little to no fanfare, and this movie is an instant flop. So that's my only good takeaway, that this movie will flop hard. Okay. No, she never got caught for the murders. Never. So, all right. That was it.